Hello, I'm Brian Davis, head of Danfoss AIM Controls in the US. I want to thank you for joining us at Cooling United Live. We have an exciting presentation to share with you today. What I'm going to talk to you about is our acquisition of AIM Controls in the US and how this is expanding our product portfolio and bringing some very interesting products to the market. So let's get started. Building our product pyramid, as we refer to it, we start at the bottom first block with heat exchangers. Here we have our line of semi-welded plate heat exchangers, and these will be featured in an upcoming Cooling United presentation, and I invite you to participate in that if you can. Moving further up, we have our line of manual and safety valves. Here we have our SVL line of manual valves with all of the functions sharing one housing in both an angle and a straightway. We have our line of NRVA check valves and an expanding line of safety valves. Moving further up, we have our ICV line of control valves, and here we have the ICS, we have the ICLX gas-powered suction stop valve, and the ICM motorized valve. Also, we have the ICF valve station. All of these are direct weld concept and modular in design, and they're both award winners for Danfoss. Moving further up, we have our line of sensors. Here we have our gas detector, which is a plug-and-play design with pre-calibrated sensors. We have our proven line of AKS pressure transmitters and temperature sensors, and we have our AKS 4100 liquid level sensor, which uses guided radar technology. And also new to the line is our LLS 4000 liquid level switch. The GDA gas detector and the liquid level switch are going to be featured in upcoming Cooling United presentations, and we invite you to participate in those if you can. As we get further up, we have our subsystem controls, and here we have our EKE 400 evaporator controller and our IPS 8 intelligent air purger. Both of these have already been presented at Cooling United Live, but if you missed those presentations, the recordings will be available, and so feel free to find those and view them. And further up, we have supervisory controls. So as you can see, what we're looking to do is to expand further into subsystem controls and to bring a supervisory control option to our customers to tie all of these products together, as well as the rest of the products in an industrial refrigeration system. So in late 2018, we acquired AIM Controls in the United States. AIM Controls is located in Waynesboro, Pennsylvania, in the US. It was established in 2003, and now with 37 employees, it's the largest controls house for industrial refrigeration in all of North America. We have over 250 years of engineering experience in the industrial refrigeration and controls area. And it is this combination of both industrial refrigeration knowledge and control logic and software experience that makes for a very, very powerful offering for our customers. And we plan to harness that and use it in very, very good ways for expanding the product line, as I'll talk about in a little bit. We have in-house design of microprocessors and circuit boards within AIM, and we also design and build PLC supervisory control systems. We also design and build complete power panel solutions, also for VFDs and soft starters, and complete motor control centers. Field commissioning of everything that we build is available, as well as remote 24/7 technical support. We have compliance with UL, CSA, IR2, and CE. So looking at the products that AIM brings to Danfoss, it includes embedded microprocessor controls, and these are predominantly for our OEM customers. We have control panels that we design and build for compressor control, for liquid recirculator control, including liquid level and pump control, various other vessels, and even low charge refrigeration systems. We build controllers for those as well. Moving on to our PLC supervisory control system, here you see a PLC control panel with an HMI interface with a touchscreen, and then below that you see the dashboard or the home screen that allows you to take a look at the entire refrigeration system. And here we can see each individual component and how it's all controlled. and then we can click on any individual component that's on that screen and get a drill down view of all of its temperatures and its pressures, as well as historical trending and data logging. And we can certainly see whether it's in alarm mode or pre-alarm mode. And then the last product area is the power panel solutions. And here what we have are power panels designed with VFDs and soft starters, ranging from 0.2 to 750 kilowatts, and complete motor control center solutions for larger installations. So if we look back at this pyramid, we can now see that we have a much more extensive range of solutions for subsystem controls, including dedicated specific purpose controllers and distributed controllers, as well as now a complete offering in supervisory control so that we can tie together the entire refrigeration system. So by taking the expertise that we have at AIM and with intense collaboration with the engineers we have at Danfoss with our over 60 years of industrial refrigeration experience, we're able to work together to create some very interesting solutions for the European market. And these are focused on safety, robustness, efficiency, and all in standardized solutions. Now, my colleague, John Kelly, is going to explain all about these to you. John?
Thank you, Brian. Hello, everybody. My name is John Kelly. I'm responsible for business development in system controls and industrial refrigeration. Thanks for joining, and hopefully I'll have some interesting things to talk to you here about. The main topic of today's conversation is going to be a focus on the European portfolio for system controls. We're going to talk a little bit about market feedback and also distributed control logic and its advantages and so on, and then finish off with a little bit about what Danfoss's plans in this area are going to be. This picture down the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, this is probably something you're familiar with. It's a central PLC which is connected to distributed I/O panels, and they're the little black boxes there. And this is what we would call a normal situation for quite a large industrial refrigeration plant within Europe. The only sort of distributed logic scenario here would actually be the compressor itself. That's the red box, and that's got a field bus connection going back to the main PLC. But the tendency in Europe, of course, is to have these distributed I/O panels, and inside those you have all your connections, so all your evaporator, condenser, and vessels, sensors, and actuators. They will be connected to the panel where they get translated to a field bus signal and then pulled back to the main PLC. Just to talk about this for a little while, because we got a little bit of feedback on what the general impression of these types of systems are. Central PLC hardware is viewed as quite a high price within the controls system. And of course, it's quite a powerful PLC. There's a lot of things handled there, so you have to pay for the hardware. That's just the way it goes. In terms of the field bus couplers that are contained within the distributed I/O panels, they're same cost, I suppose, that you would otherwise pay for a low-end PLC. The panels are never alike. Every single project, there's a fair amount of engineering hours that's involved in getting this panel out to site. So that process is, you would call it a possible bottleneck. The whole design work and the coordination with the people who manufacture the panel. This could be an internal or an external subcontractor, I suppose, and the quality checks involved. That's quite a process. So this does take a bit of time, and of course, time and resources. This can also be pricey. The combination of PLC programming and application knowledge, these are quite rare, and unfortunately, I suppose one could say, a dying breed. Often the PLC programmers are very, very good at programming their PLCs, or the PLCs, and know everything about it, but not necessarily have refrigeration, especially industrial refrigeration background. So a lot of the safety sequences have to be explained to them. Commissioning, of course, is very much dependent on this person who programs the PLC. This person is actually central to commissioning because all the logic is handled there. So things don't get finished unless that person has access or is on site, or so they're a pivotal person. And in terms of problem solving, actually, traditional, or not traditionally, but for smaller projects within Europe, a lot of the I/O would be wired directly back to the central PLC, and this has become less and less over the last 20 years or so because of the cost of wiring has increased, the cost of labor has increased, so we got a lot more of these distributed I/O panels. So these the problem solving where you're changing from an analog signal to a bus signal and then wiring that back to the PLC with a field bus connection, solving problems becomes a little bit more complex. So Danfoss, we're delighted to tell you that in Europe we're bringing a couple of interesting products to the market, which I think are going to be of great benefit to you. We're targeting the subsystem solutions, and these subsystem solutions are a result of our vast application experience, and because, as Brian mentioned as well, we have been working hard with the AIM guys who know controls inside out and back to front. So these products that we're bringing to market, I'll just give you a few headlines here. Where we believe it's going to reduce the commissioning and installation cost, and basically because there's going to be reduced need for the PLC guy. He can concentrate more on the supervisory PLC here. It doesn't have to go out and program the logic for the evaporators and so on. He can concentrate on tasks more central. We believe as well that the PLC guy, because he is it isn't essential to access the PLC code in order to expand on an existing system. We believe that these pre-programmed solutions that we're bringing will actually make expansion of a system quite a bit easier. Because they're standardized and repeatable solutions, you don't necessarily need, as I said, a PLC guy to actually program these. I suppose you can get someone on your refrigeration team, electrical or mechanical, who can easily configure these. We're going to make them as user-friendly as possible as well. So this, of course, we believe is going to make your projects work a little bit more faster, I suppose. In terms of the logic that we put inside of these controls, it's based on years of experience, and we know our valves and actuators, so we know how to make them last longer, and our control sequences are very much made in mind of increasing the lifetime of the plant equipment. In terms of efficiency, we have come up with some really cool algorithms that I suppose you'll see in due course. This will help increase the efficiency of the plant. In terms of safety, this is number one priority. Danfoss experience. We know the sequences required. We know what can go wrong, and we know how to control those scenarios. So they are worked into every control device that we are going to bring to the market. We also believe that because we're going to mass produce these, that we're going to come with a very competitive cost as well. So I hope you agree on that. This is just a quick glance here of what we'll be bringing. There's standard evaporator controls panels, standard condenser controls, and vessel control panels. They'll all, of course, have the option of whether it's going to be Profinet and Modbus TCP or Ethernet IP connectivity. There'll be an application-specific controller actually in each, and maybe integrated gas detectors if that's what you require. Of course, heating elements, bottom plates, and outdoor hoods, etc. We expect the first one to be out in 2021, just around the corner. And part of the reason why we want to do this is because we can handle the complexity in the subsystems while you can spend more time developing the supervisory systems, which is extremely that's where the true complexity lies. But I'd like to say thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed the session. And I'd just like to remind you to check out the other experiences. There's a lot of my good colleagues that are talking about very interesting subjects. There's going to be a Q&A session after this, so if you just click on the link that's in the chat box, you can get to ask us a few questions. Thank you very much indeed, and have a good day. Bye bye.